Hi, I'm Marianne DiMascio, and this is Green Scene, a show about things green and sustainable. And we're at a location today on the South Shore. I can share that it's in Hanson. We'll talk later about exactly where we are, but follow us today. I am with Dave Mansfield of the Conservation Commission in Hanson. And let me turn to you, Dave, for a quick introduction.
Well, you're right, Marianne. I'm Dave Mansfield from the Hanson Conservation Commission. I'm a commissioner in Hanson, and my work with the Conservation Commission is to maintain and manage the trails in our lovely town of Hanson.
Great. And just a quick question, how many trails are there in Hanson, or how many places?
Well, there's 9 sites, properties, and there's many trails on lots of them. So
great.
Lots of trails.
All right. So let's go on this one as we magically open the gate.
Open the gate.
Into a nice adventure here in Hanson. Follow us. So here we are at the meadow.
The meadow, as you know, there were buildings over there once.
There were buildings over there. We're not
there.
saying what they were yet, right? But there were buildings.
Large buildings.
Yes.
That no longer exist.
Yes. So here we are, Dave, standing at this lovely meadow.
Gorgeous meadow.
With, is this fleabane?
I don't know what it is.
I think it might be. I'm not sure. But
stuff.
It's beautiful. In the background, there was a hospital, and it's no longer there.
It was built in the 20s, and it was torn down in the 80s. And
no, it got torn down just a few years ago.
It's a meadow, and where we're standing used to be the parking lot for it.
That's right.
And it was 20 feet lower than it is right now. Little stuff you might need to know.
Yeah. So this is, as we said, another trail. This is the meadow right here behind us. It has natural, do you know anything about what's growing, or?
Well, what's growing is whatever comes up. We're not trying to manage it. We're just letting it grow to be a natural species meadow. And we're planning to mow it as time goes by. And of course, this trail is new. As you know, a year ago, we had this put in. We had a grant from the state. And so now people can walk through the meadow. In the past, it was just an overgrown meadow.
Right.
So we're hoping people enjoy it. We've had good feedback. And it's a fun place to be.
Yeah, we just saw someone coming by with their dog who's here all the
people
time.
Love it. Yeah,
and about what's the length and what's the rest of the trail?
It's roughly 0.8 miles to the end of this wide trail, and then it ends at a couple of other meadows that we have cleared to restore them to meadow status as well. And near that is a side trail that runs up to one of the streets in Hanson.
And we'll be going there shortly to show people what's there. And the big reveal at the end of where we are, if you haven't already guessed. So let me just ask, what, we can see what some of the beauty and great stuff is about being outside. Some of the challenges are just maintaining it.
There are challenges to maintaining it.
I know you're out here all the time.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time on the trails, keeping them clear, picking up the trash. People are pretty good, though. We don't get too much litter on the trails. The bigger problem is parking lots, but the trails need maintenance. You know, the meadows want to grow back, so we need to keep them open. We do have some signage coming in that's going to inform people of different scenic sites along this trail. They should be in place sometime this year. And it's nice to have people help us out. And we do have horseback riders, dog walkers, bicyclists, people with strollers. And this trail is very accessible to all those folks. So we're thrilled with it. And
great.
We think the people are too.
Yeah, it's been great. So stay with us as we talk a little bit more about, while we're here, let's just say something about a couple of other trails in Hanson. Do you have any favorites? And this will be giving information because it will mean that we're not here. So we're ticking them off. If you
do have some favorites.
Okay, which ones?
There's one, should we name the trail?
Sure, it's fine to name.
Rocky Run. Most people don't seem to know where it is, but think the State Street Dam. Most people don't know where that is either.
Yeah, keep on going. Myettes, right?
Myettes Country Store, exactly. That's probably my favorite. It's hilly and rocky, and it's just a lovely spot with the Indian Head River flowing.
And that's the intersection of State Street and Broadway in Hanson, right near the Hanover border.
It's right at the Hanover line.
Right.
That river is the line. So that's a favorite. We have a nice walk Poor Meadow Brook, it's called. It's down near the Hanson Hay and Grain off West Washington.
Okay.
That's a nice walk, level, about a mile loop. Nice trail. That's another.
And so one exciting thing, I was going to help on this, but you had some people and volunteers to make some of the bridges, which, and it's kind of wet in there. I went and I was walking around puddles, but now
it is wet in there. We have 3 bridges, and we have, I think it's 16 bog bridges, which are just low boards across wet spots. And we had a work date. This was in the spring. I think we had 9, volunteers. And we got 3 bridges and the 16 bog bridges done in 4 hours.
That's amazing.
It was well organized, and it was great help. And we need more folks like that.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about ways that you can help too, but let's wrap up here and we'll go give the folks another clue at another spot.
Okay. Sounds good. So lead on, Marianne. Nature.
Yeah.
So we had a local contractor put the stairs in, and then we had cooperation with the Bay Circuit Trail Alliance and the Appalachian Mountain Club to send a trail crew down and to get this constructed as the Bay Circuit Trail route away from High Street.
Great.
So you can hike. Now you can walk the Bay Circuit Trail and not walk up High Street.
So let me just say a little bit about the Bay Circuit Trail. I've been doing that. It's, I think, 218 miles.
How far have you got?
From Newburyport all the way around the outskirts of Boston to, there are 2 endings, one in Kingston, one in Duxbury. So I've done most of the southern one, maybe about 60 miles. Yeah, and it's just so great to explore trails that you didn't know existed and little pieces of connections through Bridgewater and where have I been? Pembroke, Kingston, Duxbury, just it's lovely.
East Bridgewater.
East Bridgewater, right. So this is the end of the trail that we were on, as Dave said, and part of the Bay Circuit Trail. It used to be not so fun just walking up High Street. We're giving you more clues about where we are in Hanson. So tell us a little bit about how this happened. You said you got money from the Bay Circuit Trail.
We had a grant to build that trail we started on, and this is the end of it. So this was part of that grant, but to get it completed, we had to find a way to get the stairs installed and the bridges built, and it was too big a job for volunteer help. So we ended up with contracting out for a local contractor to build the stairs, and then we worked with the Appalachian Mountain Club, and they sent down one of the trail crews. We paid them a modest fee to do it, to construct the boardwalk under the Conservation Commission supervision. So
that's great.
It was a wonderful project. We got it done in May of this year. And now it's open to the public.
Great. All right. So we're going to go down the trail and the boardwalk.
All right.
Okay. And so I know you told me there's some Japanese knotweed.
Japanese knotweed.
Right here. Yes. Let's just point this out. This stuff is impossible. It looks like
this stuff is Japanese knotweed, very invasive, very difficult to get rid of. We just keep cutting it back for now. There's not a real scientific-based way to get rid of it. Yeah. It's just it's nasty stuff.
All right. So let's keep on going. Milkweed for the butterflies, wildflowers. Wow.
And here we are at the meadows.
Nice.
This time last year, this was forested pine trees, and it was kind of an overgrown mess. We cleared it. We're letting it restore itself to being a natural meadow. We call this the last meadow. The last meadows, there's 2 of them, 3 of them. There's another one beyond this, and there's one up the other end, toward the other end of the trail. And as you can see now, it's wide open. This time last year, you couldn't see it.
Right. I mean, I used to come here and it was really overgrown.
Yeah.
And so this is a spot, I mean, historically, what I heard is Actually, I'm going to do a little bit of a reveal because the hospital we're talking about is Plymouth County Hospital.
Correct.
And this is a trail at the old Plymouth County Hospital, which is gone.
Now called Bonnie Hill Trail.
Yes, and High Street. Well, we're on High Street, and this was an area where they grew food for the patients at the tuberculosis hospital.
They did.
So it's restoring it back to.
It was self-sustaining. They had pasture, they had cropland, they had pigsties, they had chickens. It was a self-sustaining operation.
Right.
It was magnificent.
Right, and there's still remnants of some of those things. I'm on the park committee, the Plymouth County Hospital. It was the Plymouth County Hospital Committee, and now it is Reuse Committee, and now it's the High Street Park Committee. And there's still a spot where they had the pigs. You can still see the foundations of that, and there were a few other things. There was a spot where there was a camp, and we were able to save this outdoor fireplace.
Well, in the woods, there's some foundations from the old chicken coops in there as well. There's a foundation of an old barn not far from where you're talking about, the pigs. It's just a magnificent piece of property.
Right.
And we just love it.
Right.
We're so happy to open it up to the citizens, and it's just been wonderful. It really has.
And a lot of people have used it. I'm with Green Hanson, and we've done a few walks here, and people are just very happy.
Exactly. Yeah, people seem to love it. We've had good feedback, and we respect that. Appreciate it.
And so we would have come through the woods that are in that direction. Instead, we
yes, it's about 0.8 miles.
Back to where we were at the beginning. Okay.
Correct.
Anything else you want to say about this place?
Well, just we want to maintain it, and we can always use help to maintain it. People that are interested can call the conservation office. We're always looking for volunteers to help us out. Sometimes we have projects to do. Sometimes we just need people to help us clean up the trash and kind of keep the trail clear, type of thing. And other than that, enjoy.
Yeah, we were talking about the Adopt a Trail program. Like, I walk through the town forest a lot, and it does get overgrown. I never know if I should be cutting back anything. So it would be nice to see if there was any kind of Adopt a Trail where...
Well, that's an initiative we're just starting up now, and that's what we want to do, Adopt a Trail, where the folks that agree to take on a trail for maintenance, they know what they can do, what they should do, and they know how to report to us of problems. And if we can get that in operation, life will be good for everybody.
Right. And even just people walking the trails. I don't see a lot of trash when I'm walking.
On the trails, no. It's mostly the parking lots. The trails themselves, they need to be cleared. Sometimes their trees are down or foliage overgrows them, things like that. And if people know what's appropriate, then we encourage them to do it, but we don't want them to do it on their own. We need an organized system. Other than that, it's all good.
Great. So let's go back out, and as we finish up, let's go right here. We can just say how to get here. So we started in Hanson on Pierce Avenue, and there's a parking lot there that holds maybe 12 to 15 cars, right. And it's halfway down Pierce Avenue. So if you're on High Street in Hanson, you go down Pierce Avenue and you can see the parking lot on the wooded side of the street. And then on this one that we came, where the access down the stairs is Bonnie Hill Lane.
It's Bonnie Hill
Lane.
Lane.
Though it's not parking allowed there, so you do have to park on High Street.
That's correct. There's a cul-de-sac at the end of Bonnie Hill Lane, and so we can't block that access. We do have a sign notifying people, but there's plenty of parking up near the food pantry, and then it's just a short walk down to Bonnie Hill Lane.
Right. So we hope to see you on this trail and many others in Hanson. Anything else you want to add about the trails? Like, how do people just find out about this? Is it on your website at Hanson Conservation?
Yes, Town of Hanson Conservation Commission page. We have a listing of all of our properties that have trails on them, and each one of them has a description of where the trailheads are and a map of some sort. We're upgrading the maps all the time. But there's a map and a description and a few photos, so people can find them, locate them, and get a little of the history and find the trails and explore. Enjoy. It's your town.
Yeah, and I know you do a lot of work. You're out here all the time trying to maintain. I go on a walk and I'm like, Dave, there's a tree down in the town forest, and before I know it, it's sawed up and
we
gone.
Do the best we can.
Yeah. So I know you could use some help, but let's wrap up here then. So
okay.
Thanks for being here today, and this is Green Scene, and we hope to see you again. And for now, we'll head back into the woods up Bonnie Hill Lane.
Into the woods.
Into the woods and out to the street.